little fox.
Gulliver's Travels, Chapter 8, A Peace Offer. The king never forgot my refusal to take the rest of the Blefuscan ships. I had prevented the Blefuscans from attacking Lilliput, but he was still angry with me. Some of the king's men agreed with my decision.
"You did the right thing,"
one of them told me. Not everyone, however, felt the same way.
"You are a traitor,"
another of the king's advisors growled at me. Through my friends in the palace, I heard that I now had some secret enemies. From then on, they and the king were against me. About 3 weeks passed. One day, the Blefuscan king sent 6 of his officials to Lilliput to speak for him. The officials had a long meeting with the Lilliputian king. Because I was still one of his chief officials, I was at the meeting.
"Your Majesty,"
said the chief official from Blefuscu,
"our king would like to make peace with you. Blefuscu and Lilliput have been at war for too long. Many of our people have died or been hurt."
"It has been a long war,"
sighed the king. He and the visiting officials discussed how their countries could get along without fighting. The king of Lilliput wanted the king of Blefuscu to agree to certain conditions. After hours of discussion, the two sides reached an agreement.
"I accept your king's peace offer,"
the king of Lilliput said finally.
"Tell him that I will have my chief official write up an agreement. Then your king and I will sign it."
I was surprised, but happy to hear Lilliput's king say this. The two countries would no longer be at war. The next day, the Blefuscan officials came to see me.
"Our king has heard of your refusal to take the rest of his ships,"
the chief official said.
"He asked me to thank you. He thinks you are a generous giant. He invites you to come to Blefuscu for a visit."
"I would be delighted to travel to Blefuscu and meet your king,"
I replied.
"I will ask the king of Lilliput for his permission to visit soon."
The Blefuscans were no longer angry with me for taking their ships. I was happy that they were ready to forgive and forget. Our meeting continued for a few hours. The Blefuscan officials were curious about me. They had never met a giant before, and they asked me many questions.
"Would you do something to show us how strong you are?"
one asked.
"Of course,"
I replied. Just outside my house was a large rock. It was much bigger than the tiny Blefuscans. I picked it up with both my hands. Even for me, it was quite heavy. I threw it into an empty field as the Blefuscans watched.
"Your strength is amazing,"
the chief official exclaimed. When the visit ended, he repeated his invitation.
"Come to visit us soon in Blefuscu,"
he said.
"I will give a good report of you to our king."
A few days later, I had a chance to speak to the king of Lilliput.
"Your Majesty,"
I said,
"the king of Blefuscu has invited me to visit his island. I would like to go. May I have your permission, please?"
"Yes,"
the king replied, although his manner was quite cold.
"You may visit Blefuscu, but let me know before you leave Lilliput.